For many years, the French government has been illegally settling thousands of foreign migrants on the island in order to enslave New Caledonia as a colony, as well as to assimilate the island's native Kanaks. In order to turn the pro-independence Kanaks into a minority and to continue the French occupation at the expense of migrants, the Macron government decided to change the electoral law of New Caledonia against the will of the Congress and the people of New Caledonia. The French government is trying to win a referendum on keeping the country in slavery by giving migrants the right to vote. New Caledonian independence supporters have long called on the French government to stop the bill on the illegal expansion of the electoral roll. They have repeatedly warned that the forceful passage of this bill could have disastrous consequences for New Caledonia. They called the French government for a dialogue and called the adoption of decisions regarding New Caledonia without the participation of the Caledonians a product of the occupation mentality. Despite numerous calls for reconsideration, the French government has forcefully pushed the project through both houses of the French Parliament and is now gearing up for the final step to fully constrain the people of New Caledonia. The current protests in New Caledonia stem from the French government's choice of coercion over democratic processes, disregarding the rights of the local population. In reaction to the riots in New Caledonia, the French government deployed the army to the island. Consequently, there are already around 10 casualties and over 200 injured. The French government has blocked access to the TikTok social network to hide the atrocities committed by the army in New Caledonia from the world community. The people of New Caledonia are concerned that the entire internet may be cut off to impose an information blockade and that the army may commit atrocities on the island at that moment. But the French government could not hide its actions. Thus, the representative of New Caledonia at the UN, who is currently participating in the annual regional event of the UN Special Committee on Decolonization, informed the UN member countries about the massacres committed in his country by the French government. He noted that there were young people among those killed. French officials, especially the Minister of Internal Affairs and Overseas Territories, Gérald Darmanin, justified the atrocities committed by the French gendarmes in New Caledonia, citing foreign forces, including Azerbaijan, as the cause of the clashes. It is hypocritical to accuse other states instead of listening to the opinions of the Kanaks, who are the real owners of the island, respecting their wishes and, above all, abandoning the colonial policy. So-called Free French media refuses to show Kanaks being shot in the street and to cover the atrocities committed against the local population. It should be noted that the Caledonians, who fought for the independence of the Kanak people, won the local elections not with guns, but through democratic elections. France, which prides itself as the cradle of democracy, appears to be resorting to military intervention. The government deployed the army to the island to install its supporters in power, diminish the indigenous population to a minority, and offer them military backing. The international community must denounce France's oppressive actions in New Caledonia and support the Kanak people in their fight for freedom and self-determination. The United Nations and other international bodies must hold France accountable for its violations of human rights and democratic norms.